Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Zamanullah Sand. I facilitate virtual programs at Teacher Development Webinars. Welcome to Teacher Development Webinars. Teacher Development Webinars is a social action project implemented by British Council Elected Citizens in Pakistan as a response to COVID-19 crisis. It is an initiative to support teachers and educators around the world with professional development opportunities. We are thankful to Master English Training for sponsoring a Zoom account. And in our today's webinar, Importance of Virtual Learning, we'll explore the importance of virtual and electronic learning and examine how the lives of students and teachers have changed during the course of COVID-19. And for our today's webinar, we have Syed Mansoor Shah. Syed Mansoor Shah is unit leader of Duke of Edinburgh Program UK. He is coordinator Central Program Central Punjab Global Trainer Association. He is also a certified Microsoft Innovative Expert, English language teacher trainer, adult reformer of a Pakistan International Human Rights Organization, and author of O-level English book. He has also extensive experience of teacher training and professional development activities all over the world. Welcome, Syed Mansoor Shah. We are very happy to have you. So you can share your screen now.
Yes. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, to one of an excitement event regarding the virtual learning. Well, the topic came across to mind due to COVID-19. On the 24th of March, that COVID-19 problem faced by thousands of teachers all over the world. So what is the goal of our today webinar? We must recognize the importance of virtual learning or electronic learning. And we need to explore new ways of teaching, especially the hybrid teaching model. We have to go for hybrid teaching model because in future we have to go for synchronous and asynchronous teaching because the old method of teaching is over. The COVID has completely changed our method of teaching, and students actually demand the new method of teaching, including hybrid, online, virtual learning, or electronic learning. We'll walk away with the new and smart learning approach that is actually the crux of today's webinar. So ladies and gentlemen, what is virtual learning? The use of internet technology to deliver your education to your students, and it's enabled us that how to use technology and to make students friendly with that. And that COVID-19 actually polished our abilities while we're using our laptop and computer to deliver our topic online and to control them side by side. That was the one of the challenge that actually we learned in this COVID-19. So virtual learning has the potential to polish our skill and to guide us how to teach to the future generation, which are known as millennials. Why it is important? Virtual learning is the demand of the time because we need to target our audience. Our generation is quite smart and they demand different methods. They're bored of the old method of teaching. They don't want to see us on the board and like just writing some topic on the board and go with the cramming. They need the conceptual studies. They need the studies that go online. They have something, they can use the technology and they can give us in the form of electronic media. Well, it's going to improve our integration method. It's going to improve our teaching methodology as well, because electronic teaching or virtual teaching is actually the teaching of 21st century. And our adults, they are quite mature. Well, they demand us that we should go with the smart teaching. And that is the hybrid model of teaching. We should go for synchronous and asynchronous as well. We should go online. We should give them such assignments that can assess their abilities. And side by side, they can ask the questions. So that is virtual learning is the future teaching method. Now, further we discuss about that how it's important in our daily based life significantly to how quickly the master a skill. If I'm going to use a laptop and side by side I'm delivering my lecture to students, it means I have skills how to deliver my lecture. I have a confidence that the students on the other side who is behind the screen, they are just judging my teaching methodology. And keeping one thing in mind that what is the objective of teaching online, virtual learning? And it's very smart objective. That at the end of that lesson, they must get something. They have something written on their copies. They can ask you questions online and you're smart enough to give the answers. How easy is to study, and of course, using technology is a friendly way of teaching that how you're going to deliver the knowledge. Well, if I'm talking about myself, I really enjoy like giving virtual learning to students online, and the COVID-19 actually polished our skills, especially using the part of Google Classroom. We're talking about like Microsoft teaching methodology. It really reinforced our skills. It's raising the standards. Of course, a time come when we are just standing in the class and writing something on the board, and after some time, the students are with that, and the lesson become big bored. But right now, we should have some assignments that are smart enough to handle the QEs of the students. We should bring something special in the class. They didn't want to listen us. It must be interesting and informative. And that is actually the epitome of virtual learning, that it is a smart approach to give our millennials whatever they want in a very comprehensive manner. Well, they really enjoy because online classes nowadays become a fun as well as learning. If I talk about virtual learning, it has contributed a lot to the learning all over the world due to COVID-19. The methodology of teaching has changed. We shift from face to face to online. By keeping one thing in mind, that we educationists know that how to convey our knowledge to our students while they're sitting inside their houses, using their laptops, and behind the screen, they actually just get our messages, our teaching methodologies. Removing the barriers, this is really important. Especially, I am from Pakistan, those students who are remote areas. Well, they're not able to reach us face to face. They can sit in their houses and they can take the lecture. And by this, the fear is over. So there's no more barrier problem. And virtual learning is the key to success. Well, student can participate. Go for the online quizzes. They can participate. Give them the chance to speak. And by this, you're going to empower their confidence. You can give them the power. They just accept the challenge. They can fight with the problems of 21st century. Prepare for employment, of course. And this skill is really important in our schools because a teacher who knows how to go for face to face and how to go for online, he is a real teacher. So in that century, that COVID has completely changed our method of teaching and methodology, the way we deliver our lectures. Now, every learner, achieve. During this COVID period, I have seen so many teachers, they were doing online webinar, they were joining the trainings. It means that it was a right chance to learn the skill they actually forgot previously, and the skill they have phobia about that. And now that skill is the virtual learning skill. That skill is the electronic learning method, how you can deliver your lessons with confidence, with a smart technique, or with the hybrid teaching model. When you further talk about that, what are the important components or the true vision of virtual learning? Well, internet has reshaped our education. Education will not be same in the next decade. Students just shift to their laptops and palm tops as well. E-books or e-lesson should be a part of the next generation as well. And they are quite smart. They can get us that what we are delivering it. Instead of writing things on the copy, become the old tradition. Now what we need to do is we just go with a smart technique, and the technique is virtual learning. There's no going back. The traditional classroom has to be transformed. We can transform our classroom to our electronic classroom, the virtual classroom. Let us give it the concept of virtual classroom, where students actually sitting inside the houses, and they can face teachers and they can get in a more comprehensive manner. And nowadays, many university college, even all over the world, They are opting the virtual classroom concept, the hybrid model as a future model of teaching. Now, tools which are really important for virtual learning. Online discussion forum. This is really important. Just manage a group, give them the time to talk, and just convey the answer. If you talk about the teachers, they have the online discussions, conferences they can talk about. But recently, I participated in the international webinar. The teachers share their problems, that what actually are facing in the countries due to COVID-19. It may be regarding how to control the students inside the class or how to make them punctual, because during this period, the major problem was to make the student punctual. And secondly, those teachers who are not familiar with the use of technology, they learn a lot. And they actually got their vision that technology itself is transforming their teaching skill. Well, by using virtual learning, we can create discussion groups. Like if I'm just dealing language, so I can manage a group into those who are interested in narrative writing. I can manage a group in narrative writing group. The other one who are interested in argumentative writing, I'm going to make their group of argumentative writing because they have the reasoning skill. And those who are quite, realistic, factual, and have reasoning skill as well, they can sit about the descriptive using the senses. So I am going to polish their skills by dividing them into groups. But if I'm going to mix them up, they will bore. They start taking interest in studies. So virtual learning is give us a key to success, that how we can win the student by using technology, by perfecting ourselves in transforming our teaching methodology. We can post question and request student to comment, of course. Like as far as our like my school Beacon was concerned, we use like Google Classroom, where we can post online quizzes, online assessment, and they can complete within that duration and time period. Even if they have queries, they can post their comment and we are going to answer them. So it means that we have interaction with them, because the trica is the parent student teacher trica works only if you have good interaction, if you communicate properly. So communication works only if you can comment, if you give the answer of those comments on proper time, and if you can answer their queries whenever they want, and can encourage community participations. Of course, if I talk about the teachers, the doctors, the lawyers, the engineers, they can make their groups and they can go on virtual platform, they can share the problem, and within that they can solve those problems, they can raise the issues of the country, and they can pick up those solutions from the group participations, and they can get that. Where collaboration learning can be fostered, feedback from diverse culture. I want to share like my experience previously, like when I was a part of like the international webinar. They were like the country, there were the people from like India, people from Africa, Lebanon. They share their traditions, culture. They talk about their problems. So it means that virtual learning is the only way to communicate not only local people but global people, to know about each other, to interact with each other positively. Now, virtual learning tool is, it's the real way of communication as well. Synchronous communication tool. You can give face-to-face classes. Switch on your camera, and students will love to see that. Because if the teacher is quite smart, sitting in like behind the laptop and giving a very active response, students eventually become very active in the class. Just communicate with students during your class. Just pick up any student and ask that what is the topic you're going to discuss, what is the objective of the lesson plan, or within that they will definitely give you responses, because they know that the teacher is smart enough to deal that synchronous way of learning. Communicate with parents. Well, we are going to make a box in which parents can ping their queries, they can put their comments, they can ask about the problems of their students, and eventually we give them answers. So like face to face, we are solving all the problems the way we are dealing face to face in our schools, because no one knows about what's happening in the coming time. So we must be ready that we are good enough with the virtual learning. We know that how to deal smartly the parents and students. More students participate. Like when you just go for virtual learning, ensure one thing, that there must be 90 to 100% participate. That is really difficult, but it is the job of the teacher to make the lecture more interesting, to make the lecture more, informative. The students are compelled to listen that. And of course, just, keeping themselves away from the bed, killing their sleep and coming from the lecture is a big problem from home. But we are here to make the tradition. We are here to transform our new way of teaching methodology, and that would be hybrid method of teaching. That it would be a virtual learning, collaborative learning. This is really important. Just give a task to students online, just assign them the online quiz. They're just going to attempt it and share the response and the feedback. They will definitely enjoy that. And that is basically the vision of our today's webinar, that make your teaching as interesting, as informative that students are compelled to get that. So virtual learning is the key to success. Now, how to respond with parents, students. Every teacher should have an email account, that is account from the school. They can communicate with the students. They can share their assignments weekly basis. They can share the feedback of the students per subject to the parents. Students can submit their online assignment, because in Google Classroom you have the option that you can submit your assignments individually and you can give them marks, you can give them comments. So it is the best way to transform your teaching methodology, to polish your teaching methodology in order to get good response during that period of COVID-19. Can have attachments. Well, in that virtual learning, you can attach your worksheets. You can attach your the task, the test that you want to upload on that Google Classroom. And of course, they are going to respond that. Because what is our purpose of virtual learning methodology? We want to transform face-to-face classes on virtual learning or online learning. It's simple but effective. There is a problem. Whenever you start something, there is a problem. So technology itself is a problem if you're not going to make friendship with it. The thing is that you are going to familiar yourself with the technology, try to learn the tools, try to use those techniques like the Padlet, like the Jamboard, and definitely you will enjoy your teaching. Efficient and cost effective. Sitting at home and working smartly is really, one of an important way of delivering lecture to students. Teacher's obligation, but our responsibilities. We use all available technology. We're talking about the email, we're talking about the Gmail, we're talking about the Google Classroom, we're talking about the Microsoft, those tools as well. We are using it to educate our millennials, to educate our youngsters. And because this youngster demand us that we should be expert in using technology. Encourage collaborative learning. If we know that how to use those online teaching tools, if you know that how effectively we can deliver our lecture, we can bring them in groups to work together. So old method is over and the new method is the virtual learning. You are going to lay the foundation of lifelong learning, because there is success everywhere. There is no defeat. So it's a teacher obligation to make your students smart enough to go for virtual learning. Well, if you talk about the tools, there are wide range of materials available. Student resources, sharing of resources. You can share your comment by just posting an image, by giving audio image. This is really important that a student is going to listen the comment in audio and the voice of the teacher, and that's going to impact positively. Simulation and multimedia project. You can use projector. You can record your lesson, and then after recording it, you can post it offline, and that is going to affect, because those students who are just living in remote areas and they are not able to attend the lesson online or face to face, they can utilize those recordings and they will enjoy as well. Virtual learnings, of course, video conference really important. Well, as a teacher, our management, they are going to discuss different issues, the problems of students during the COVID-19. So they'll go for either video or audio conference, and it affects a lot because you are feeling like home, you're feeling like you're in the school, or just attending the meeting face to face in your HM RSM office. You can conduct a live lectures. Okay, you can communicate with the student positively. It may be supported by charts, whiteboard. It may be supported by different graphs, pie graph. You can record your lessons and then you can post it after whatever they want. Demo is really important because uh, when you are giving the online lesson, the most important is that how to create the interest of students. So you have to change your objectives assessment, the lesson plan, that how smart goals you're going to apply to get the objectives from students as well. So there must be smart teaching. There must be smart lesson plan that you're going to deliver to students. They're going to enjoy that. Now, experience of asynchronous learning, the management of content. This is really important, that how you're going to manage your content. Well, as far as like you are teachers, you are going to upload your quizzes, lessons. You can track the student, that that student is absent or he didn't appear in the test. He misses test as well. So you are going to mark out that student. You are going to coordinate with the parents and discuss about his performance, administrative features to check out what teachers are doing, integration with various tools such as chat, email. So email is the official way to interact with the parents, with the teachers. The timetable, like in Google Classroom, what we are doing, we are going to post a timetable in the group. The students and parents are seeing it. They are going to download that, and that timetable is going to make them, more punctual, periodic, and they just got it that what lectures are coming next. So the way we are posting timetable in the class, same in virtual learning method, we are going to post timetable in the group. The only difference is that we are using technology. Over there, we're using a marker and pointer or the whiteboard. Periodic update. This is really important. That how the child is going to improve himself, or what are his weaknesses in certain subjects, and what updates are required to make himself good in the subject. If I'm talking about the language subject, I want to see that he's good in writing skill, or he's lacking grammatical skills as well. So do we need to work on his comprehension skill? So we are going to jot down those problems, and then we can share the update with the parents, and definitely the parents will respond in positive manner. Video recording of, like, this is really important of the virtual learning. This is one of the important component of the virtual learning as well, that you're going to upload your recordings and students can get benefit once they are offline, or they just see the class is over, even they're sitting in remote areas, right? Now, if I talk about the challenges of virtual teaching during online classrooms, there were a lot of challenges that teacher faced. Access to high quality of education and support by qualified teachers, all designed to help students stay connected and engage. Well, like if the student is not attending the class, so you're going to coordinate with them and you're going to make them engage. There are various challenges for the teachers and students. Friendly interaction with the technology. And previously, before COVID-19, like there was less use of technology, but after COVID-19, like the teacher, the student start learning the technology. Now they got a friendly interaction. Now, internet connection is one of the problem. Availability of internet computer system. Like there were some home students are 3 or 4 numbers and they have just one laptop or one computer, so only one student can use that. So at that time, adjusting those things was a big problem. But somehow they learn that how to use those the computer system and how to share the things. And this ability we actually got once we got learning of virtual learning, the virtual teaching method as well. Technological error. Classes going on, suddenly there was offline, or like the net was not working, or secondly that link stopped working. That was a big problem that students and teacher faced, but somehow we learned that how to go for the virtual learning and how to use online classes. It means that in that period, not only parents, teacher and student, they learn a lot of things, that technology itself is a friendly component for education purpose. Now, what we need to do is we should provide a real platform for teachers and students, and it's only possible with the virtual learning. Solve different problems students who lived in remote areas, as I talked about previously. Upload those recorded lessons so they can use it after the classes. Online trainings were conducted for the teachers to make them familiar with the technology. It was one important part because different school management, they have taken initiative to make their teachers more perfect regarding how to use the tools. Quiz solve the problem of checking, because quiz is a smart way to judge the ability of a student. So quizzes is one of the software that we are using in our daily teaching, and they're going to judge the ability of student regarding comprehension skill, regarding grammatical skills as well. Well, we are going to conduct online activities like small assessment that increase the IQ level of students as well. So they are going to write down their assessment. They can even attach the image or the tool, or they are going to share it like in the Google Classroom. So we are going to check and we are going to give the comments as well. When I talk about my personal experience of virtual teaching and online classes, I enjoyed a lot by using different teaching tools like Padlet, by sharing feedback. And when I'm going to share a screen with the Padlet, it's one of the characteristic of Padlet that you can use it and student can write in front of you. If you just write on that, what are the pros and cons of mobile phones? So students can divide themselves in groups and they can write pros in one group and cons in other group, and you can see them and you can mark them online. Well, Jamboard was one of an important tool that present my lesson plain and differently. PowerPoint to make my lesson more interesting. Of course, they like it. The use of quizzes enhance the ability of students. So quiz is one of the software that actually just judge the potential of the student. Well, the experience of online taught me the time management, and all the teachers, they just they just become punctual. They got the value of time management. You must be ready 30 minutes earlier to the lecture. Your patience, technology self demands your patience, learning new tools, and lastly, how to overcome distance barrier. And that is actually the vision of virtual learning, that you overcome the distance barrier and to portray and to give your lesson to the people all over the world. Learning experience for the teachers and students. Shifting from face-to-face to online classroom was one of the big problem, and mostly teachers face that. But they learn that how to be a good online teacher, how to be like a teacher of 21st century, and they learn that how to go with the face-to-face and online. Commands on different online tools like Google Classroom, Google Meet. It's one of a solution to teachers' problem for the online checking for delivering a lesson. Well, of course, workload of the teachers, but they just got a challenge that how to just deal with those workload, dealing the problems at home, dealing the kids side by side, delivering your lesson was one of the tough challenge that it was faced by the teachers all over the world. And I salute to all teachers who just proven themselves the real educationist, that they are the real expert. They know that how to go virtual learning. They know that how to deal these millennials, this smart generation. So time management and punctuality was one of an important positive component that actually I learned, and the teachers all over the world, they learned that. When we talk about the further challenges into that during that period, access to high quality education supported by qualified teachers to help students, various challenges for students as well, including interaction, including remote areas, and the most important thing is technological errors as well. But right now, teachers all over the world, they know that virtual learning, virtual method of teaching is our way to win the hearts of our students and to meet the demands of the new education system. If I talk about the conclusion, virtual learning offers opportunity to raise educational standards in school. If you are good in using technology, you are a good teacher. But right now, if you're not using it and if you don't know how to use the technology, it means you are lacking something. So use technology side by side with the face-to-face classes. It's the only remedy for your education, for your lesson plan, for delivering your lesson. You can use large tools for your teachings. And what we need to do is these tools are friendly. You can use that. Close the gap of digital divide, because we are going to close the barriers. There are no barriers across the world. Okay, so this world is no more a part of distance, and some students are in the remote areas and they cannot get the benefits of education the way the students are getting inside a class. So we can use virtual learning to benefit all the students all over the world. Involvement of teaching students is important, because when you are giving the online lesson, you must be involved. You must have that ability to judge the student online, that whether the student is working or not. You can ask the questions and you can involve them in reading skills so student can take part. You should now be able to recognize that what is the vital role of virtual learning. teaching methodologies to educate millennials, our smart generation, adopt smart approach of educating the students, because this is our future and we know that virtual learning is actually the teaching methodology of 21st century. We must utilize technology to assist and ease learning, and it is our key to success. Well, thank you. If you have any questions, you can ask side by side.
Thank you so very much, Mansoor, for this wonderful insights and wonderful presentation about virtual learning. So we have one question that is about higher education. So do you think virtual learning is possible in higher education context?
Yes, we can work on it, because they can organize a system where they're going to provide certain logins and passwords, and it's going to work. Like if I'm going to compare, like recently what happened with the Cambridge education ordinary level, they just provided expected grades. So they can manage the students portal where they can upload their assignments. They can go for the online cameras. They can monitor that. Like the UK is doing, they can go for the language cert courses. You have to switch on your camera and you have the time limitation. You can upload your work during that time and camera is going to monitor that. So I think that is the most refined procedure for the higher education.
Well, in virtual learning or online learning, we are attending classes from the comfort of a couch, and also oftentimes students are shy to turn their cameras on. So how do you motivate them to do so?
Well, if I want to talk about this problem, we are facing this problem in our face-to-face classes as well. This is the job of the teacher, that how to motivate the student, because it's not only in technology, it's not in the online classes, in the face-to-face classes. It is up to you that how students start trusting you. When students start trusting you and they believe that the teacher is actually like start knowing him or herself, then he or she is going to ask the question. So deliberately, side by side, you're going to motivate them and give him or her chance to speak. Definitely that microphobia or fear of speaking is over. I'm going to follow that practice in my classroom as well. The student who is quite shy, they want to speak, I'm going to involve them. At least they're going to read one line, they're going to give answer, they're going to appreciate that. So appreciation, tolerance, and trust is the only way to win the heart of those students.
So our next question is, how do you tackle the assessment issues? How do you make sure that your assessment is reliable?
Wonderful. Well, we have a plagiarism. We have the software plagiarism as well. And students who are sitting over there, they're quite expert enough to check that whether the content is real or not. Like I'm checking my content. Low, you can use the plagiarism software. Your expertise are there. And once you are giving them time management, I think if you have given 25, 30 minutes to write a composition, I think students was unable to find out from the Google source, any searching engine, or take a help. And within a few paragraphs, like recently we conducted an online contest as well in the story writing competition, and out of 200, we just jot down that 50 stories, they got the plagiarism issue as well. They've taken help because the content, the way they attempted it really tells that what is happening with the story. So you can use the software, you can use expertise as well. And secondly, time management and online like submission is really important.
Well, as we see in Pakistan, COVID-19 cases, have been on rise these days. So parents are actually afraid to send their kids to school these days. But government on the contrary has been, insisting on face-to-face classes a week or so. How do you manage in BSU? It goes hybrid or face-to-face, or what kind of teaching mood have you been trying?
Well, nowadays we are just going for hybrid, right? Hybrid is that we divide us into groups, like 9 to 10, with
Mhm.
the proper SOPs. They're following it, and side by side we have the online classes. Now, those parents, they have the issue. The student can take the online classes. They can submit the work side by side. They can come face to face in groups of 9 to 10. with the proper distances, with proper SOPs. Furthermore, if the situation is getting more worse, we can shift our hybrid to online with synchronous or asynchronous. So we have the solution because we have set a system that is going to solve all these problems.
That's wonderful. We really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So I'm looking at the chat box. If we have another question, I don't see, such an as question. So you were talking about your a talk in the conference about COVID-19 responses. So how did it go? And if you could share some of the insights from there.
Well, that was a wonderful, and it was across the country, even like international students participated in story writing and different, it was like our virtual Olympic, and online they submitted that. We have a timings, we have a certain word limit. We check that, and students enjoy because they become, what I can say, bored because of this routine of the COVID-19, and they were stressed. So that was the best way to relieve the stress. Give them the online event, give them, involve them some positively. Definitely they enjoy, and it was one of the fabulous response.
Great. So thank you so very much for joining us today with our webinar, about virtual learning. I appreciate your time, and thanks to all the wonderful participants for being here with us. You can follow our social media channels for our future webinars. We have one with Dr. Tamas on this Saturday, and it's going to be again great to have you all. We appreciate all your responses. I want to ensure that COVID-19 is on rise. Please practice social distancing or physical distancing, whatever you may call it, and please wear masks. Please, try to stay at home as long as as it is possible for you. So these things are going to be crucial to lessen the wave, and we have to flatten the curve. Please be responsible for your lives, for your family lives, for everyone's lives. Thank you so very much for joining us here at Teacher Development Webinars. We'll see you again. Stay safe, stay home.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Manula, there's one question like Omar is asking that any modern technology to be used in Zoom or Google. Yes, we can use like in Google Classroom, Google Meet, and in Zoom. Zoom is used for, delivering your lesson. So there are a lot of app. You can go for the Padlet, you can go for the Jamboard to share the work if you write something. So there are a lot of apps. You're going to explore that, Omar.
Thanks.
All. Thank you so much, Amanullah. Wonderful time and for the wonderful participants.
Thanks, Mansoor. We
Yeah, have
appreciate
a
that.
good day.
Thank you,
Have a good day.
everyone. Have a good day. Bye bye.